Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to my channel. It is time for some more ghost train stories. It's time for some more ghost train stories. The story that I'll be reading is called The Mintz Ghost Light, The Mintz Ghost Light, The Mintz Ghost Light, The Mintz Ghost Light. It's called The Mintz Ghost Light, The Mintz Ghost Light. And it's a good story about a dead railroader, who got his head chopped off. So without further ado, The Mintz Ghost Light. Here we go, folks. Like Mako, Mintz, North Carolina is a lonely spot along an abandoned ex-Atlantic coastline branch. The hamlet is located between the tiny towns of Roseburg and Garland, North Carolina. A light appeared along the railroad grade here for many years, and according to a local folklore, it was the ghost of a railroad employee. According to local residents, the railroader was employed as a track watchman, clocking the trains as they ran through the lonely coastal swamps. One night he was startled by a train as it highballed along the tracks. He fell into the path of the train and was beheaded by the Rambless Iron Horse. His body, his head and body were never found. On more dramatic version of the story insists that after the watchman was beheaded, his decapitated body groped for his lantern, picked it up, and vanished. After the watchman's death, a light began to appear at Mintz, a glow that hovered over the railroad tracks, bounced and disappeared. Local folks claimed that the light was the dead track watchman's ghostly lantern. According to local residents, the light was a nightly insurance in Mintz during the early 1960s. Carloads of people from surrounding towns would drive to the tiny crossroads community to witness the light. Some local folks even drove to the spot every week just to see it. It didn't scare many people. It didn't scare people because it had always been there and they had grown up with it. Like the Mako light, the Mintz Ghost Light stopped appearing when the tracks through town were taken up in 1980. People in the area have stopped talking about the ghosts, and its story seems to be fading out of local folklore. Okay, so the watchman, the railroad's ghost watchman appeared down those tracks, right down here. And then when the tracks were taken up, the people in the area have stopped talking about the ghosts, and it seems to be fading out of local folklore, which means it's not being brought up anymore. but people still want to believe it. They still want to believe it, though. They still want to believe it. They still want to believe it. So they still want to believe in the ghost story, but you see, the point is, now that the ghost is not appearing anymore, now that the ghost is not appearing anymore, the tracks were taken up in 1980. So people in Minsk stopped talking about the ghost and stuff like that. But in the early 1960s, carloads of people from surrounding towns would drive to the tiny crossroads community to witness the light. Yes. Some local folks even drove to the spot every week just to see it. It didn't scare people because it had always been there and they grew up with it. So yeah. Anyway, that is now if this were to be appearing on the Travel Channel, they would put the they would put the ghost, they would put the ghost, they would put the ghost, they would put it on there, they would put it on there. They would put the ghost on there, but if this were brought up on the Travel Channel, if this was on the Travel Channel, if this was on the Travel Channel, then they would put the ghost on there. They would put the ghost on there for sure. But still to this day, the ghost does not appear at this site anymore, because people have stopped talking about it. But still they can put the ghost on the Travel Channel and talk about it on there. They can talk about it on the Travel Channel and the History Channel too. They can talk about it on there and put it on there and let it be seen on there. But they just but you just can't see the ghost in real life anymore, because you just can't see the ghost in real life anymore like you used to, because the tracks are taken up now. The tracks were taken up in 1980. You just can't see it in real life anymore. That's what it is. The ghost would the railroad watchman's ghost would appear right there. But now that the tracks are taken up, it doesn't appear there anymore, but they can still put it on the Travel Channel and the History Channel too, and let the ghost be on there and let the ghost story be on there. But they can't, but you just can't see it in real life anymore. You just can't see it in real life anymore like you used to, because tracks are taken up. The tracks are taken up. So yeah, that's what it is. So without further ado, the Minsk Ghost Light. Now, I want to read one more story. I want to read one more. Hello. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and thanks. Oh, here's one. Here's one I can read. Here's one I can read. This is called Chicago and Northwestern Business Car 400. Chicago and Northwestern Business Car 400. So I'm going to read this. 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 And I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this and stuff like that. And I'm going to read this. And so without further ado, Chicago and Northwestern Business Car 400. Here we go. Perhaps the most famous haunted railroad car in Chicago and Northwestern Business Car 400. The car is said to be haunted by former Chicago and Northwestern President Jim Wolfe. The car was built by Pullman for the New York Central in 1928 and was later sold to the West India Fruit and Steamship Company. The car was purchased by the CNNW in 1980 and was completely remodeled in 1981. Renumered for 400, it was assigned to CNNW President Jim Wolfe. President Wolfe was an enthusiastic prominent of the railroad's business car fleet, and 400 was used by him on many trips to Wyoming, Powder River Basin coal area. The car was often used by the railroad president and as he the railroad president as he courted potential shippers. Although Wolfe was adamant upon of passenger trains, he grew very attached to his private car. His feeling for the car was so strong that he reportedly was insulted when another excuse refused to use the 400 for a business trip. Wolfe died of cancer at the age of 58 on August 9th, 1988. Just days after his death, the CNNW employees began to report strange happenings in car 400. The railroad company's a physical explanation for these incidents is practical jokes played by car workers. Many CNNW employees believe, however, that Wolfe's concern for car 400 is transcending the man's death. Workers report toilets that flush by themselves, call bells that ring themselves, and untraceable rattles vibrations throughout the car. The car is also prone to sudden temperature drops. The CNW, the CNW employees have apparently accepted the phenomena at face value. However, and do not seem reluctant to work on the car. The most amazing incident in the car 400 haunting involves the chef who often served Wolf aboard the car. The chef, who retired in 1990, reported that he was cooking steaks in a car 2 cars ahead of the 400 one night soon after Wolf's death. Two other riders were in the car just ahead of the 400. According to them, the 400's door opened and a man walked through the car towards the chef's car with a shock. One of the riders recognized the passerby as Wolf. Wolf then to the chef's kitchen in the next car. At first, the chef just felt Wolf's presence, but then he could see the ghost. Wolf, the chef reported, was wearing a shirt and jacket that matched CNW's corporate colors of of yellow and green. The way he often dressed, expression trips. He appeared relaxed and said, "George, I'm hungry," several times. The chef asked Wolf to step into another car so he could cook him a dinner. He then ran to the car behind where he found his co-workers who were still shaken by Wolf's reappearance. A deeply religious man, the chef felt he should do as the ghost had asked. So he returned to his kitchen and laid a full meal out for Wolf. Another time, the chef was awakened by Wolf's voice saying, "Get up, there's something wrong." The chef ran through the train until he found an empty car that smelled of smoke. He then heard Wolf's voice saying, "Smother it, George." The chef then shut down the car's air conditioning equipment, sealed the doors, and called a technician. He had caught the fire just in time. From that time until the chef's retirement, he always asked for the 400 to be assigned to any trip he was working, and whenever he worked on a trip that included the 400, he always set out a full dinner for Jim Wolf. So going back here, 1928 remodeled in 1981, in 1980, and was completely remodeled in 1981, renumbered 400. It was assigned to President Jim Wolf. So So the car was built by Pullman for the New York Central in 1928, and his ghost would always appear. His ghost would always appear. His ghost will always appear. Would always appear to George, and Wolf would always say, Wolf, who passed away at the age of 58 of cancer in 1988. Wolf's ghost would always appear to George, and George would say, "I'm hungry" several times. Every time Jim Wolf's ghost would always appear to him, that's what he would always say. His ghost was appearing in the car. His ghost was always appearing in the car 400. In the car 400, his ghost was always appearing in the car 400 every time, and Jim Wolf would always say, "George, I'm hungry" several times, and every time every time workers in the car would always report, workers would always report toilets that flush by themselves, call bells that rang by themselves, and untraceable rattles and vibrations throughout the car. So that's what they would always report every time Jim Wolf's ghost would always appear. So that's what they would always encounter, is all those things. Toilets flushing by themselves, call bells ring by themselves, and untraceable rattles and vibrations throughout the car. So toilets flush by themselves would always happen, call bells that rang by themselves, and untraceable rattles and vibration by itself too throughout the car too as well. So yeah, that would always happen every time Jim Wolf's ghost would always appear. And when George was in the kitchen one day, when he was in the kitchen one day, where it says right here, Wolf went into the kitchen. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Wolf then went to the chef's kitchen, and Wolf then went to the chef's kitchen in the next car. At first, the chef just felt Wolf's presence, but then he could see the ghost. Okay, so yeah, Wolf went into the kitchen where George was, and then after that, that's when Wolf said, "George, I'm hungry," several times. He said it several times to him. So and like it says right here, from that time until the chef's retirement, he always asked for the 400 to be assigned to any trip he was working, and whenever he worked on a trip that included the 400, he always set out a full dinner for Jim Wolf too. So yeah, he would always set out a dinner for Jim Wolf, like a plate of food for him, and he would always serve it to him, so that way his ghost could eat it. So yeah. So yeah, that's what the story is. That's what the story is. That's what it's telling. That's what it's telling. That's what it is. Okay. I got it now. I got it now. So yeah. Anyway, uh Chicago and Northwestern Business Car 400 should be on the Travel Channel also, and it should be on the History Channel and the Discovery Channel too. It should be on there too. Anyway, Chicago and Northwestern Business Car and the other one I read. And also the Mintz Ghost Light, that should these stories ought to be season episodes. These stories should be and ought to be season episodes on the Travel Channel and the Discovery Channel and the History Channel one day too. Yes. This should be on the Travel Channel and the Discovery Channel and the History Channel one day too. One day it should. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed those stories. I'll be back tomorrow for some more Ghost Train stories for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. And let me know if Ghost Train should be on the Travel Channel and the Discovery Channel and the History Channel one day. So yeah. So let me know if it should. And give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe and ring the bell. And I will see you guys later for my next video later on tomorrow. Okay, bye folks. Bye.